So drama and dramaing, does it really work? Does it really help? I've had 3 opportunities to talk about drama in the past couple of days, and it was interesting. I've reflected back on how I managed it and dealt with it and what I can do better. And so night before last, I was doing something that somebody had asked me to do and to show a bit more about my life in a powerchair. So I was filming and I showed the side of the road and where there's no drop curb. So I have to go on the road for a little while to be able to get to the restaurant. When I was at the side of the road, there was a gentleman who came by, and I'm quite used to this, and people are lovely, they go by, but this gentleman came really, really close to my chair, and as he got right at the side of my chair, he twitched his steering wheel, and it absolutely freaked me out. I thought he was going to hit my chair, and I sort of yanked to the side, and it's actually all there on video that there was nothing there when I started crossing the road, and then it was quite a deliberate attempt to go at my chair. Anyway, it absolutely shook me up, so I was quite distressed by it, but went, no, it's okay. I'm all right, I'm okay, and I'm glad that I'm living my life, not his life, and carried on to the restaurant and had a lovely meal with our friends. Doesn't mean that it didn't bother me, it did, but now I'm okay. So then I went to bed. Next morning I woke up to see a message on a WhatsApp group that I was part of last year, because I did go to a boarding school. It wasn't a nice boarding school. There were some very, 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 very unpleasant experiences that we had as children. And it turns out that the people who ran it, the nuns who ran it, have now put an apology for it's called a safeguarding issue, which happened to all of us at the school. And that WhatsApp group people have been revealing the level of trauma that we all went through and the impact it's had on our adult lives. And it's actually the reason that I do what I do, because it was so awful. And I had so many horrible messages about myself that I just thought, I've got to sort myself out. I knew there was something wrong with me because it had been indoctrinated into me about how there was something wrong with me. So I then went, okay, I need to get some therapy, I need to get some counselling, and I've been doing that for 30-something years. I've learnt a lot about myself, I've learnt a lot about my life, but it was interesting because when I opened the WhatsApp group, just brought a whole load of stuff back, and people were posting about their opinions about how the nuns had treated them and the fact that there was an apology, but is it really an apology, etc. And I took the opportunity to share it. So I screenshotted it and sent copies to my children and to my sister, and I read it to my partner George. Their feedback was really interesting, but it did trigger me again, and I could have dramaed. And I thought, actually, I'm just going to say they have made an apology, and I actually am grateful because I went through what I went through, and I'm here and doing what I'm doing because I went through that, and it has made me who I am. So I was like, okay, so just keep breathing. I'm having a lovely day, and I'd got a really pretty dress on that I was going to wear yesterday, and I was focusing on all of that. And then I got in the lift, and some of you may have seen the post, and the next post that I did was, I'm now trapped in the lift. And I was shaking because I can't stand, and the space is really tiny. And I was worried that I was going to go down because my legs will go after not very long, and I can usually get from one floor to the other and get out and get into my other power chair. But I was worried, and it was the first time that I was able to reach behind me, get hold of the fold-up stool, open the fold-up stool, move my body down, and there's hardly any room at all, and sit on the chair. And when I sat on the chair, I was like, okay, I'm sitting on the chair. What can I do to occupy myself while I wait for somebody to free me to get me out of the lift? I know, I'll make a video. And it did help, because I had to concentrate on focusing on you and handing something out to you that was of interest. So this is the space, and this is how I get out, and this is my power chair. And I've been out to meet a friend today, and she was talking about a lot of things that have traumatised her. And I was just reflecting on the fact that those 3 things have happened, and all of which were traumatic or brought back traumatic things. And I was just going, golly, I've come a little way because I've still got so much further to go. But honestly, those would have massively kiboshed me for absolutely yonks. And I just went, I'm so grateful that I am learning to sort of grab myself and go, okay, so where are you, Sue? So is there anything that you need to do? So when I was in the lift, what I needed to do was to call for help, and I did. And my partner George came to help, and I'd worked out in my head, if George isn't available, and then this person, then this person, then this person, and somebody within the next half hour will come and get me, and I will be out of the lift. When I was driven at in my power chair, I did go, check, check, check. No, he didn't hit me. He nearly did, but he didn't hit me. Am I okay? Is my chair okay? Yes. What are you doing? Going to celebrate a wedding anniversary it was, of our friends. Okay, so let's go and do that then. When all of the trauma stuff came back up, I thought, yes, I know the trauma stuff is there, and I have been through what I've been through, but my golly, I've spent 30 years working at this so that I can go, yes, it happened. I'm glad I wasn't those nuns. And I'm glad that I'm me, and I'm glad that I've worked through it. A friend of mine still cannot go into the county where the school was. I mean, I'm really pleased that I can do that. I've even taken my children to the school, and as I was coming out of the chapel, I was going, and my son said, "What are you doing, Mummy?" And I said, "I'm just blowing some cobwebs away." And I had a lovely day. And I'd had 3 things, and I went out with my sister yesterday to the garden centre that you've seen. If you've seen any of my posts, I don't even suggest that you will have seen my posts, but I know some of you have. What a beautiful, wide open garden centre it is. Space for me to be able to get around. And I genuinely forget that I'm in a power chair and that I can actually tootle around and do what I want. And yes, my sister said, how have you been, what's happened? And I did very quickly go through, the chair happened with the man driving at my chair. And then, that I sent you these things this morning about the school. And then I got stuck in the lift, and she's like, blimey, that's a lot. And she went, how are you feeling? And I went, do you know what? I'm actually feeling absolutely fine, and very, very grateful for that. And to be able to enjoy the moment is absolutely marvellous. And I went to bed last night, my head hit the pillow at about 20 past 9, and I was asleep by 22 minutes past 9. So I was so lucky to be able to have a fab night's sleep, got up today, and I've been to the coffee shop again, and I've met somebody I haven't seen for can't think how long, but it was just delightful to see her, and I've had a lovely time. And currently my son is doing some electrical work on the house, and I'm so proud of him and everything that he's achieved. So sending lots of love to you all, and sending lots of love and hopes that your dramas get smaller and smaller and shorter and shorter. Lots of love. Bye.